I figured out exactly the steps that I need to learn, and hopefully that can shortcut your process. Learning music production can be super hard and super confusing, but by the end of this video, you'll learn exactly the steps that you need to take and that I took to learn music production. So of course, you don't have to follow these steps, but this is just what I did. My name is Jacob Dewitty. I'm an independent artist that releases songs monthly, and I also have a music production company called Dewitty Reality, and we do remote mixing and mastering services, all done from my home studio. And yes, I am at Florida State University studying music production, but everything I learned before any classes that I took here. So those classes kind of helped reinforce my knowledge. And taking these courses and watching so many YouTube videos just to learn, I figured out exactly the steps that I need to learn, and hopefully that can shortcut your process. So again, if you need mixing and mastering services, instead of spending years and years learning music production, of course, you can go ahead and cop those services down below. I do have a free special gift for you just for watching this video. It's the ultimate guide to learning music production. We have our skill stack. We have mixing and mastering steps, step by step, exactly the process I use for my clients. And then we have the production skill pyramid. So that's what I'm gonna go over today. Step one, we've got to figure out the goal. So if the goal is to make an income from recording or be a producer or be a music artist, but either way in this video, you'll learn exactly what you need to do. So first we have the producer skill stack. So I did a bunch of research, and ultimately this is everything that you need to know. So let's start with how we're gonna learn any of this stuff, right? So I personally just learned online. There's plenty of YouTube videos. The only problem with YouTube videos is that they're all random pieces of information. If you're just clicking on a mixed video, or you might learn chunks of information here and there. But that's what this guide is for. So now that you have the step-by-step, you can go into YouTube or online or whatever you need, and you can search individual things so you learn step by step. So the reason you get a course is to implement the stuff. You can trust that you can learn just from that person, and everything that they're going to teach you, that's all you need to know. So on this channel, I'm going to do my best to do this step by step, but I'm also going to release a course in 2023. If you want more details, keep a lookout for that course. But for now, I'm gonna keep releasing this free content and these free guides. So ultimately, it doesn't have to be my channel that you pay attention to. You can use any channel, but ultimately, you can just keep watching those videos and follow these steps. So what I did, I started with music studio software. So get a DAW. You gotta learn what a DAW is, digital audio workstation. There's a lot of DAWs out there. That's basically what you're gonna be using on the computer to produce. I have this video on DAWs. You can learn how to exactly the best DAWs to use, my favorite DAW, and everything like that. Then we have music studio equipment. So what exactly do you need? The basics, you need a laptop, an audio interface, and a mic. The mic goes to the audio interface and converts it to sound. Then we have headphones or studio monitors. Either one, just something to hear. So that's really all the studio equipment you need. Everything else is just icing on the cake. So I just did this video on how to build a home studio for less than $300. And also break down every single piece of gear I use here. If you want any of this equipment, make sure you hit the affiliate links down below. I actually have a full list of gear on my website. You can just go here and you can save money and time. I just created this page so you can see exactly what I use and what I recommend. Next, we have musical instruments. So how are we actually gonna make the music? So most people have a specific instrument. You know, piano, you can easily do the MIDI keyboard. And then guitar, you can just record that. That can be or drums. Of course, you don't have to have a musical instrument. Some producers are just beat makers and stuff like that, but it does help when making music. Next, we have music and production theory. You gotta understand basic music theory. Then you have arrangement theory. So how are you actually gonna, once you record everything, how are you gonna arrange that into a nice song? Then basically production theory. So this is where the production comes in. Audio. Then you have MIDI. That's gonna be recording on either MIDI keyboards, which if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, you can also just input it straight into the DAW. Basically, you can use any virtual instrument, so you don't even have to have acoustic treatment and a great mic and all this other stuff. You can literally just go into your DAW, put in a virtual piano, click a note, and a chord, and you've got it. Of course, I think sound design and synth programming, all that can come later. That's more fancy stuff, just fun stuff. EQ, that's basically frequencies. Basically, you have the whole frequency, so this is the low end, this is the high end. You can basically manipulate exactly what you want to boost. Then you have compression. That's pretty important. That's basically leveling out the whole song in terms of volume and volume range, basically. EQ and compression are going to be the main parts, the 80% of music production. Then you have all the nice effects like reverb, delay, distortion. You can learn all about that. Then we can move on to our mixing process. So I did these videos on mixing and mastering, and I basically also did these videos on where I did step-by-step for clients. So you can check those out if you want more on this. But basically, you want to communicate, figure out all right, do they want the vocals way up here, or do they want the piano or guitar? Like, how do they want the song balanced, or how do you want the song balanced? And then static mix, which is basically gain staging, which is basically volume. You gotta get all the volume balanced. Core mix, that's the EQ, compression, panning in the stereo field. Then you have the sweetening stage, that's gonna be reverb and auto tune and delay, all the cool stuff, the little cool effects, the fun part of producing. Then you have the detailed stage where you go in super detailed, automation, make the tweaks. Then you master, which basically mastering is you're making it ready for radio. So the mix is like just the project. It's like, all right, everything's balanced, everything sounds good there, but then you want to bounce that out to audio file, and you're gonna make that audio file ready for radio. So I do the basics, then I've checked the mix because there's probably gonna be a little mistake in there. Then we have tonal balance on all systems, so how it sounds on speakers is different from how it sounds on laptops, different how it sounds on phones. So that's why we learn mastering. Then sweetening, just little effects, the loudness of how you want it to come out on Spotify and stuff like that. And then you just check it. So our production pyramid, to simplify all this, that was a lot, right? You're probably like, whoa, how am I gonna learn all that? Well, it's really just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, right? You got composition, so that's the writing of the song. You've got arrangement and instrumentation. You're gonna record the stuff. Then you have sound design and production. Then you have the mixing, which is balance, and mastering, the final project. So now you have the information to start learning music production, and ultimately create a side income from music production. And if your goal is just to learn, well, have fun making music, right? But if you do want to make a career out of this, like I did, ultimately the biggest part of this video is that you don't need college, you don't need an expensive recording studio to learn. All you need is the basic gear, and you can upgrade as your skill upgrades. As time goes on, you can upgrade your studio or whatever. But these are just the steps that I took to learn music production. Of course, there's plenty of other ways, but I think this is the best way. It is a lot of work learning music production, so instead of spending the 2 years that I did, you can go ahead and get mix and masters from Dewitty Reality. That's down below, but you can do this. You can learn music production if you just put in the time and effort. Make sure you check out this playlist. It's going to break down every single step, and I'm going to continue making videos, and you'll see exactly what you need to learn step by step. I'll see you there.